Well, hello there, human tippies, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and if you're lucky enough indeed to be doing it too. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Bushkin. Today, I'm going to be showing you how to push houses, how to push compounds, how to push structures. We're going to talk about sound, markers, knowing the layouts of the house itself, how to actually enter buildings, and a huge one, which is desync. So we're going to have a look at that right about now, Funk Style Brother. It's really important that you understand exactly what's going on here. And this is the simple stuff. We're going to start with the really simple stuff. And the really simple stuff is that you enter by using the hit markers. Now, while someone's moving around upstairs in this house, I can actually see their footprints, right? So what I'm going to do is I am going to keep my player character looking at those footprints at all times. So I'll just clear that off. I'll start up again. And it's very simple, especially in third person. Now, this person's playing incredibly poorly. I can't help that. They're camping the stairs. They're not moving. There's plenty of other places they can find cover. That's not my problem. That problem belongs to them. I just wanted to find an example for you guys where you could see exactly what I was up to and why I was doing it. Now, you're going to hear two sounds here. You're going to hear the sound of someone running on dirt and then going through a window. There's the window, and they're running on dirt beforehand. So I know, and this is where knowing the layout of these buildings is important. So I can see again that the footsteps are in the top right-hand side of the screen. They are indicating that someone is in this direction, okay? Because they are so clear, a little tip, I've done videos on this. You should probably go and check them out. Sound footsteps, all that kind of thing, how you can utilize them. But because they're so clear, I'm pretty certain that person is in the room just underneath me here. At the worst, they're in the next room along. Because the sound of their footsteps is on concrete, I know they're inside. So I'm just going to simply go down there and make sure the pointy end of the bad thing is looking at the bad guys. Let's go a little bit further along. Let's push a different kind of structure here. This is a building. Now, if you look at the map as you're going in, there is someone, and I'll show, you probably won't see them here if you're not looking for it, just down there, right? There's someone at that end of the building, okay? So I'm going to push into what I call hard cover. Now, hard cover to hard cover is really, really important. We know there's a bunch of people here, but that's one. So I'm driving the car into hard cover. Okay, straight away, we see footprints up in the top right-hand corner of the screen. So I am looking to my right when I come in here, pushing the structure. I know there's someone else at the back already. So instead of pushing into this house, building, whatever it may be, and going wide here, where I'm going to be able to be hit from both that doorway there and whoever is on my right, I am going to turn this into a 1v1 situation by pushing in and jumping hard to my right and staying inside the lane. So I'm really only fighting one person at a time. Simple stuff, hey, but this is where it comes right into it. Now, I was aware that there was someone down the other end of the house. I probably didn't call it on voice comms, and Goku got smashed by the guy down the end. Paul Parker is actually up here, another one of my platoon mates. He's about to push around into the bloke that's on the other side of the house, who's now forgotten about me. I am not going to revive Goku because obviously we're going to have two knocked people in a second, Goku and Paulie Parker. We're pushing into the structure. We know where that last guy is. He's hanging around at the top end of the map. I pre-fire there, and we're going to do a little bit more talk about pre-firing and desync in a second. He can only be in one spot. The footsteps, everything point to him being here. He's already been touched up a little bit by Paulie Parker. That was an easy clear. So two things there, hard cover and being aware of where everyone is on the map at all times so that you can really figure something out. Now this is desync. Now desync stands for desynchronization. Okay, so I've drawn up three circles here. It's not like the Olympic rings. What we're talking about here is this circle right here is you. This circle over here is the server, and this server over here is the bad guy, the other dude, right? Now, most people think of this in really simple terms. They're shooting at that guy. That's not how you should be thinking about desync. What you're actually doing is firing a round off at the server that then fires at that guy's location, and then that goes back to the server, and the reported damage goes back to your location, right? Seems pretty obvious when you say it. So, if you think about this, when you fire off a round from cover, when you strafe out from cover, like I'm about to do, you're actually firing off a message to the server that you're coming out of cover, and then it sends the message to that guy there. But if you've already got damage in the air, you have like a half a second sometimes where the guy on the other end doesn't even see you and he's getting hit. Watch me pre-fire here. Now, it might look like that guy's just reacting slowly, but what's actually happening here from the time I come out right now is like 0.6 of a second into this frame. I'm firing. He doesn't see me until about now, and I've already got a bunch of hits off. Now, here's something else you might not realize. When you're playing the game, if two people are shooting at each other and he starts shooting at me and on his screen he hits me like 3 times, but on my screen he's already dead and my message gets to the server first, his damage gets cancelled onwards and upwards. So desync's incredibly important. And when you're pushing houses, it's super important, because what happens is if you can constantly reset where your player is in the server by hiding behind a wall again, then that's desync all over again. You can reset desync. Now, watch this. I'm going to open the door, move to the right. There's the player. He's shooting, he's shooting, he's shooting. Use desync when you're in house-to-house combat, because it's a massive, massive, massive advantage. Let's talk about holding an angle. You're going to see that there's a doorway over here. There is actually, if you look very carefully, in this little section of the map, yeah, that's right there, little gun barrel. Bushka's seen the gun barrel. Happy days. So we're going to take advantage of that. We're actually going to set up our UMP here, and this is an old school UMP with the 9mm round. We're going to point the gun in there, start pre-firing, and then just drag it across here like a laser beam, like we're mowing down the wheat, right? And that will absolutely, it's like desync holding an angle. Owning spaces is really, really important. I can't stress that enough. This is something not to do. If you're assaulting a house, this is like an absolute, we get out of this one. Well, I do anyway. Goku doesn't. Okay, so this is a compound. The compound has another house over there behind us to my left, as well as this house here where someone has just pushed into. Stupidly, we are pushing into a house without clearing the house on our left first. So if you are clearing compounds, you have to clear everything in the compound a step at a time. Otherwise, what's going to happen is Goku goes up. I don't want to push in because I'm worried about getting hit in the back. I throw a grenade. Goku really YOLOs in and charges. It's not a bad move. If I was doing it with him, then I get drilled from the guy on the outside, and now things are looking really desperate. But remember the very first thing we did in how to push houses. That's right. We go up the stairs. We go up the stairs very, very carefully, and then because it's third person, we settle in, and we know the guy has to be over there. We don't have a lot of hit points. He's also taken damage, so he's going to be hitting a heel right about now. What I'm going to do is put a Gren in there. Then I'm going to retreat back downstairs if he shows, go behind there and try and create a desync situation all over again. There he goes. We switch up to the AKM and we get the kill. Now, another thing about pushing houses is if you're going to be doing it, try and do it with the right weapon. AKMs and barrel M762s and all those kind of things are far better for you than running an M416 in a house pushing situation. The other thing is just knowing the basic layout of the houses. There is someone in this house right here. You can see he's just popped out the back. Now, the reason he's jumped out the back is because I've thrown a molly in there and I've thrown a molly into the stairs. So I've basically cut the house in half. If that's the layout of the house and he was hanging around out here, running around in the front where I am, I've cut that in half. And he now has to go out the back. And because he doesn't have any shots out there, he's opted to jump out the back of the house altogether. So this isn't as much about pushing into the house as forcing him out of the house. And a big part of that is just knowing the layout of the structure. If you know the layout of the structure, a lot of them are universal. And that means you can actually turn that knowledge to an advantage when you gren, like you gren in the right spot. Let's keep going on, onwards and upwards here. Like this house, for instance, I know that there is someone in that house. I'm going to put a bracket in again. Now, this is just really simple. I'm going to put a bracket in there and a bracket in there. There is a room upstairs that will be invulnerable to that grenade if you can hide in it, and there is a room downstairs that will be invulnerable to that grenade and you can hide in it. But the odds of him missing both of them, if I throw them well, is slim. He's generally going to take at least some damage, and if he doesn't, then, you know, if he's in the wrong room, he's going to get absolutely slaughtered. Knowing that structure and knowing the most likely places is clutch, because if they're trying to stop you from pushing into a house, they're going to be overlooking stairs. So you want to take the place that is the easiest to overlook first. Again, here we go. We're inside. Look at this happen. I mean, this Muppet again. Footprints. Watch this. This is, you can see the footprints pop on the minimap. And look at me just jerk around. My head pops around. As soon as I hear those footsteps, I'm back around, and you know, that guy must have been waiting there for ages, because my entire team went through this apart from me. All very, very simple stuff, but very, very important stuff. Listen carefully. This is another thing. When you're going into a house, crawling doesn't make a mark on the minimap when you're just adjusting tiny little amounts side to side. So you have to be listening with your ears as well as looking with your eyes. Listen to the crawl. He's shuffling around out there. So he's lying down directly above me, waiting for someone to go out on that roof. I'm going to blow the door with my S12K. I'm running an S12K. Don't ask why. It's for a video. I'm then going to shove a grenade out there. It's not going to kill him, but it's going to do a massive amount of splash damage, so that all I have to do is poke around the corner and just tap the button and he falls down. As long as I am not directly in line of sight with that grenade, it won't do any damage to me either. Yeah, he was absolutely screwed. This is pushing into a house. There's footsteps directly above me and to the left. I'm not sure where he is. He's been moving around a little bit. So I'm just going to chuck a molly up there above the stairs. Now, this is the same concept as you saw when I chucked the grenades in Pachinki before. I wanted to remove the most likely place of overlook on the stairwell. So he's not there. Let's check around behind. Pulls out his molly. I'm going to knock him, and then he's actually going to burn himself up with a fire. Ow. Okay, great. Love it. Now I'm going to show you another thing. I don't know if you noticed, when I was on the way in, I actually went past one of the doorways there, and the doorway was open. I didn't open the doorway. So what I'm thinking is someone is camping in this house. Now, when you go into these kind of houses, specifically like these structures here on Vikendi, the most obvious camping spot, you can either put a grenade in through that little window there, or you want to push around through the house, pre-fire, and smash whoever's in the bathroom. And because that door was open, I was pretty certain that there was someone in this house. No movement, no. So this one's going to look pretty wild from his perspective. He's just sitting in a house and someone comes around the corner and pre-fires. But like, if you're in final circle and it's that small, just pre-fire everything. It's not like people don't know you're coming. And it's not going to hurt you. Like, you've got plenty of ammo in that M249. You know, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I'm going to show you one more thing here. This is a little one that's just about desync. That's not really that important. I really want to bustle on over here. This is a game where we're in Pachinki and I'm stuck behind the car, right? And I've pushed the compound. I've pushed the other side of the street here. You really want to make sure that you cover off on the windows, right? And if you're in FPP, you can do this pretty comfortably. If you're in TPP, I would not recommend doing things like that. In TPP, you're going to get third person all the time. So you want to be very, very careful about whether you are approaching houses in TPP or FPP. They have a different set of rules. In TPP, you want to really third-party peek, and you can see you can go up the stairs a little more conservatively because you get a great field of view. In FPP, you can actually use the desync idea if they don't know where you are to your advantage. So I'm going to show you that again, just that whole section of gameplay. Where are we? There we are. They're actually looking at my mate Scumbag Juju, Nico. He's an old pro World of Tanks Blitz player that I run around with sometimes. There you go, that bloke got into Scumbag Juju. I'm thirsty. Reset, desync out, do your best. I hope you guys enjoyed that. It's really important that you know this stuff. I will be doing more advanced things as the gameplay progresses. If you want something specific with this Telestrator kind of work that I'm doing now, let me know and I'll do my level best to do it. I think it's really fun stuff to do, and it's definitely a different look that I'm not seeing in a lot of other PUBG Mobile content creators. Look after yourselves. Remember to subscribe, like the videos, visit thebushka.com for all the weapon stats. There's nowhere else on the internet currently that is doing that, only me, and thebushka.com. Yeah, look after yourselves and stay safe in the battlefield. Bye for now.